I know, it's pretty incredible, really. When I look back, the chances of me doing that were so slim because all I was doing was flicking through the stations, I don't even know which station I was listening to when I heard that advert. But I heard Astronaut wanted. No experience necessary. We had to have certain, criteria to start with, which I thought, well, I could do that. And the more I thought about it, the more I really wanted to go into space. It was an opportunity that had come about because although Britain is not anymore interested, we don't have any funds for putting people into space anymore. This was a commercial mission that had been created to put the first Briton into space. And they were asking for people to apply who were between a certain age range, I think it was 21 and 40 years old, to be physically fit, have a knowledge of at least one foreign language, and to be actively sort of doing science in their jobs, because the job was in space, to do experiments up there. And a whole load of us applied, of course. I was just one of many.
Was it something you always wanted to do, even as a child? Did you ever consider being the first Briton or going into space at all?
No. I mean, going into space, when I was a child, I was 6 when Armstrong first stepped on the moon. And as far as I was concerned, that was just wow, and something so incredible that there was no way me in my little life was ever going to be able to do anything as wow and as exciting, as remote as that. Going into space was something that Americans did. Later on, I learnt that also, of course, the Russians go into space. But people from Britain, we don't go into space. And anyway, why should I do anything as exciting as that? It just didn't even cross my mind.
Now, I'm a child of the 60s as well, and Gagarin, John Glenn, Neil Armstrong, all those names synonymous with space travel at the time. It was an exciting time, wasn't it? And many children stopped wanting to be train drivers and so on and wanted to be astronauts in the 60s. And we owe a great sort of debt of gratitude to those pioneers, don't we?
I think it's also that the first astronauts really made us think a little bit about our planet and about how science can be so incredibly interesting. It made people think about what the people who went to the moon, what did they need to get them there, the technology and what they were going to be feeling like, and why were they going to be feeling so different, what difficulties were they having. And I think it made us realise how much we owe to science, even just on the Earth's surface. It gives you that added interest to want to study it a little bit more.
You have to learn how to live in cramped environments, survival procedures, and coping with things that you would never experience normally on Earth. Weightlessness, for instance.
Oh, I mean, weightlessness is the most wonderful feeling. I think the nearest I've experienced on Earth is in a swimming pool, rather than sort of trying to swim through the water. You know what it's like when you just relax and try and float on your back. Your legs might sort of dangle down a little bit, but you're basically just buoyant in the water there. Now, you're not feeling weightless, but that is the nearest thing. And it's relaxing, and feeling weightless in space is exactly that. It's easy to get used to. Every time you move even a little finger, signals go right back to the brain to say that your finger feels weightless. So you do very quickly learn how to move about. And of course, inside your body, all sorts of things are changing chemically. That's something else. But the actual, floating about for yourself is a great feeling.
It's very important with all this then, particularly considering the stressful conditions you're in and the problems you may encounter, that you all get on with each other.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's important. You're relying on each other hugely. And also, people around you keep you sane. They keep you happy. They keep you motivated. And of course, we relied on each other not to make a foolish mistake that would put our lives in jeopardy, but we also lent on each other very heavily for just moral support. We talked to each other, we enjoyed our rest time together, and that was very important.